Hi, it's Mokaev and another release of video StP opposes. We continue our battle and today we're going to talk about adhesion. Today we prove that high adhesion does not mean an effective material, and that adhesion is important, but not the main function of the material. It's super fine tuning, a balance between mechanical loss factor and adhesion. What's up? Are you stuck? A common myth. They have better stickiness. This is how most couch experts pass off adhesion as the primary measure of performance. It will fall off immediately. We had one case. They have better stickiness. It's so obvious with that StP. We tested 4 mid-price materials. StP Gold 2.3, Shumov M2, Comfort Matte G2, and SGM Alpha 2. We'll explain and demonstrate. We're now at the car parts chain store that sells automotive noise insulation. Our industry is very specific by some strange model of consumer behavior. When buying vibro deadening, men for some reason necessarily check the stickiness of the material with their hand, determining by some signs of its effectiveness, freshness, and other qualitative characteristics. You should have seen their intelligent and thoughtful faces. That said, it is not at all clear how buying decisions are made and what the ultimate and decisive indicator is. Testing material organoleptically is wrong. The stickiness you feel with your hand is deceptive as it does not reflect the actual adhesion of the material to the metal. The stickiness of a human skin and to metal are not the same thing. Initial tackiness may be better than final adhesion. You don't test tape and glue with a tube for stickiness, do you? Making the material sticky is fairly simple. Any chemistry student can handle it. The point is not stickiness. The buyer, checking the material in the store without special devices, can determine the absence of a pungent chemical odor, uniformity of the plastic layer, relief tightness of the foil, and peeling of the protective paper. There is such a thing as reasonable sufficiency, i.e., the amount of adhesion that is sufficient to bond the material to the mounting surface and is not redundant. At Standartplast company, an adhesion value of 5 newtons per centimeter is accepted as reasonable sufficiency, and there is excess adhesion. It is relatively easy to achieve high adhesion prescriptively. This is not a high achievement of science, but there is no expediency in excessive adhesion. It doesn't make the mechanical loss factor any bigger. This only increases the cost of the product and has no effect on the final efficiency. Then why overpay? Hey, so did you stuck again? Pay attention to me. For information, if we talk about vibrodempher, they include bituminous materials, which adhesion is achieved due to a special adhesive composition applied to the bitumen. By the way, installers not only have to install noise insulation, but sometimes they have to dismantle it as well. And this is where they are faced with different types of material failure. Adhesion bond failure is when the material completely pulls away from the mounting surface. This is convenient for the one dismantling, but adhesion failure indicates poor adhesion of the material. Long story short, the material can fall off without your input, especially from negative and vertical surfaces. Adhesive failure is when the material fails over the mastic, meaning the mastic remains on both the foil and the mounting surface. This brings inconvenience to the installer as the surface is difficult to clean, but cohesive failure indicates high bond strength. This means that the material will likely never fall off. We, as manufacturers, distinguish 3 stages of adhesion. Initial is the adhesion at momentary contact, evaluated immediately, accrual, measured after 2 hours, and the final one is measured after 24 hours. This is why we call any measurement before the day is up, much less right away, erroneous. What does the initial adhesion provide? It gives the installer the ability, if the hand shakes, to retape and reglue the material to the mounting surface. Materials with high initial adhesion do not give you second chance. Measuring adhesion is not easy. As we said earlier, this process takes more than a day. The methodology is based on international standards and European DIN, and regulates a certain sample size, thickness of the metal plate, weight of the press roller, number of pressing movements, angle of pressing, temperature of pressing, number of tested samples. All tests are performed on certified and verified equipment, and that's why all reviews of pseudo-experts on YouTube cause nothing but laughter. At the beginning of the video, I told you that we chose mid-priced materials from several companies. Ready to see the results? Since our video is all about adhesion, we of course tested it first. Attention to the chart. As you can see, the comfort mat material has taken the lead with a small gap. The StP material ranked second, followed by the Schumacher and SGM materials with similar performance. But here's a question. Can we judge the efficacy of materials solely on the basis of adhesion readings? And here we are again reminded of our beloved mechanical loss factor. Attention to the chart. In the graph, you see the MLF values of each of the materials and a slightly different distribution of forces. For the sake of clarity, we have calculated the average MLF value for each of the materials. In first place, as you can see, is the StP material, followed by the Schumacher material, and with minimal separations the SGM and comfort mat. The situation with comfort mat seems a bit strange when it has the highest adhesion but the lowest average MLF value. What the conclusion from all of this? Adhesion is an important quality of the material, but not the main one, because it is not adhesion that saves you from noise. It is the MLF that saves you from noise. Fact. Thus, comfort mat and SGM are out of the race, as their MLF values are below the minimum operating value. Might as well stick a newspaper in the car, for example. I vote with my money. Pay for the effectiveness of the material, not just the glue. It's your decision, your choice.